Rich, but I came from the Nile Valley. It's bittersweet, I smile sadly. Truth rarely seen like child's daddies. I'm in Hotep, I style flashy. Regarded highly, I'm Selassie. As time is passing, tribes are clashing. I know the ledge, I grow my dreads. My queen's two open legs have golden eggs, I'm hatched. 9 months had to hold my breath. Now I dream so heavy that I broke the bed. Provoke the feds that slaughter the sons. 12 get the 4-5 like a quarter to 1. The war has begun. Latin for sun, the soul and melanites get more of the sun. We the fortunate ones. Got the God in the womb and the Lord in my come, and no more means love. Death is the source that I'm from. Everything that they do, we have already done. Self-taught, my ice a melt salt. Mine high price, I write and sell thought. I felt cloth, I cannot in cotton shopping. Aquaponic, chronic options. Botanizing pot concoction. Earth a thought, her twat is rotten. Knowledge of my art forgotten. Watch the conscious sovereign doctrine. Not dishonest prophet goblins. Boxing out the box, I'm boxed in. Black magic, black yoni, black phallus. How they turn kings and queens to crack addicts. How they make us lose our sight like bad glasses. They know we invented original mathematics. Black magic, treat home like at Sabbath. I can hear beautiful music and bad static. I attract cash in bags like that's Magnus. Last Maverick, blast fast like Zab Jab. Black magic, black yoni, black.
Peace, family. Welcome to another episode, Underground Railroad Productions. This is your host, Brother Rich. On the lines with KT, the Arch Degree Man. Welcome back to the show, brother.
What's going on, Brother Rich? Thanks for having me, man. It's been a little bit since I've been on here.
Man, listen, we was concerned about you being out there with all the hurricanes hitting the Caribbeans, man. So, how is everything all right?
Yeah, everything's good, man. I'm gonna be present at Valentine's event coming up next month, and there I'll be able to, I'll be in the community, I'll be able to let everybody know, what really went down. But yes, I was on St. Croix when Hurricane Maria hit. Category 5 hurricane hovered right over my head. One of the scariest experiences I've ever had, and what really makes the experience profound is I got to see firsthand aspects of weather modification with my own eyes when I was there, leading up to it, when it happened, and after. So, I have a great story to tell the people, in addition to, just the preparedness that King Simon is always talking about,
Indeed. We're gonna have a good show, KT. I need you to clear up a lot of confusion that's in the health community.
Always.
And we trying to get this thing right, and people say to do this, and then another person come and say don't do that, do this. So we trying to get it right, but there's some things Dr. Sebi said in the past that contradicts what pretty much 80% of the health community is doing right now, whether it's the conscious community, whether it's the mainstream health community, whether it's the woke community, whatever you want to call it. He said some things that's different from what I see that's going on right now. So we're going to get into that in a second. Before we start, KT, I want to give a couple of shout-outs.
For sure.
First and foremost, Brother Panic will be in NYC November 19th. Brother Panic, This is his first lecture in over a decade. If anybody remembers the LIU days, the golden era, he used to I think he opened up for Bobby a couple of times with Brother Shabazz at our opening productions. Well, I'm bringing him back to NYC. He's going to be in Brooklyn at the Black Lady Theater November 19th. The name of the lecture is The Multi-Dimensional Nature of the Soul, Understanding the Technology of Being God in a Human Body. So it's going to be a deep lecture. We talking about the true nature of who we are, not just this small aspect of what our eyes can see. What they say, the eyes can only see 10% of what's going on, KT? What, 10%?
Man, yeah, it's definitely it's a slit. It's a keyhole.
Yeah, so we have a more expansive self that we're not even aware of, and we're going to tap into that. When you tap into that, you're able to get things done. You're able to live like a God on earth. You're able to live like the greats that you look up to now. You're able to carry that Christ consciousness, and that's what this era is about. So we're going to go into that. I also want to give Brother KT a shout-out. on October 20th. KT, man, I just had a conversation with this brother KT before we started this show, and he was giving me some health advice, man. Listen, y'all, I'm going to be real with y'all. I call KT all the time for health advice behind the scenes. And KT always give me some good health advice, man. What to eat, how to exercise, proper sunlight to get. If the doctor tells me something, he tells me something that I should be doing. You know, it's good to have somebody like that in your crew that, you know, you could depend on. So I feel as though everybody should be privy to this information from KT, and that's why he's making it available to the public via lectures. The brother's got a lecture coming up called The Vegan Gene, the scientific evidence and genetic proof that our ancestors were vegan. That's controversial in itself. I can't wait to hear about that, because they say you know what they say? Ain't no Africans wasn't no damn vegan, KT. I know, man. In Africa. You ever seen
they eat it now? They drinking blood. They drinking blood right now.
Man, listen. So
all day.
That's going to be very, very, very interesting. That lecture is on October 20th at 7. This 214 number, should I give him that number, KT?
Yeah, you can give him the number.
Contact 214-943-8262 if you're interested in information at that. This will be in Dallas, Texas. So holla at that, call that number for that. And, like I said that, man, this is going to be a very interesting event. If you're interested in the Panic event, you can contact me at 646-472-4219 for information on that. I will also have the information in the description bar under this video. And with all of that being said, and also, shout out to Cambada, the track everybody's asking, the track that I played before my videos that I just started playing a couple of videos ago. I produced the track. The name of the track is called Black Magic. Cambada wrote to it. He killed it. We're going to get into more and more music here on Black Magic 363. We're going to expand our brand, and we're going to build another YouTube channel strictly for music. And I got a lot of good things coming for y'all. But shout out to everybody for loving the track. Shout out to Cambada. On that note, KT, let's start the show. Like I said, KT, man, listen. So the entire health community, you see the memes, you see the Facebook posts, you see the Instagram posts, you see the YouTube videos. Let's just start out with one thing that everybody is saying that we should do if we want to lose weight, if we want to get rid of disease in the body. They say, listen, drink apple cider vinegar every day. They got the brand called Bragg. You go to the supermarket, you take a teaspoon of that, you can mix that with some water and cayenne pepper, or you can just drink that straight, or put it in water. You drink that, and your health issues are gone. We have this, man. Yeah, you know, I'm dead.
It's the new snake oil.
It's like the miracle drug. It's like the miracle.
That's right.
So it pretty much does everything. So we got an entire health community telling us to engage in apple cider vinegar, Brother KT. We have this man, rest in power, Dr. Sebi. You're continuing his legacy. Who said don't drink apple cider vinegar?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that, man. Why is the whole community telling us to do one thing, and this one man named Dr. Sebi was telling us that, no, that's not good for us? Tell me about the discrepancies, KT, and we're going to get into a couple other things, but what's up with the discrepancies between what Dr. Sebi is saying and what damn near an entire health community is telling us to do to treat disease and ailments and everything else that's bad, KT?
It's so funny, man. When we look back in the garden, there was a big mistake that was made because Eve decided to eat the apple. Now, in the urban jungle garden that we're in now Eve's eating the apple vinegar. And the same damn nation is going down, son. No. Okay. So check it out. See, the key word in all of this is apple cider vinegar, okay? Not just apple cider, but apple cider vinegar, okay? And what vinegar is acetic acid. And we all know how Sebi felt about acid. So it's like, why is it a big problem? The big problem is because, once again, everybody's doing something that some anonymous person then said was good. We have to keep in mind that there are different phenotypes on this planet, okay? When you go outside, you see all types of cars. You see Bentleys. You see Mustangs. You see little Tercels and Corollas. You see Fiats. You see all types of cars.
True.
These cars do not pump the same fuel. They do not use the same oil. They do not have the same tires, the same engines, the same pistons, the same performance. They all operate differently. And depending upon the environment that you need that car for. If I got a dually, you know what I'm saying? I got me a 4-wheel drive. Obviously, I got different types of terrain. You see what I'm saying? And I know I might get stuck in the mud or something like that. You know, I got to carry off lumber. You know, I need a car like that. You know, maybe I'm an Uber driver, okay? So, yeah, I need me a car with 4 doors, and I need good trunk space. I need good space in the back. Got to keep it clean, you know? I might have a little compact car because I'm trying to save on gas. You know what I mean? I'm trying to just get from A to B. I might have a hoopty because, shoot, I don't really care about the looks. I just got to get around and things of that nature, so it's not that important. So why do you have a car, and what environment are you in with that car? Okay, that determines its performance and what you're using it for. Well, bodies are the same way, and you just can't muck every automobile under the same class. It is not going to happen. You're not going to trade in your little hoopty for a Lambo. It don't go down like that. There's 2 different forms of engineering. So when it comes to the human body, when it comes to the quantum biology, it is the same thing. And for some reason, as an original people, we still like mucking ourselves along with all types of other folks. Now, in this particular case, we're dealing with people that have the structure within inside their system to process fermented foods. We're talking sauerkrauts and yogurts and beer and liquor and alcohol and all types of other fermented qualities. And when I say fermented qualities, I'm talking about the mechanism in which chemicals break down. They break down, you know, into further broken down constituents that then yield microbes such as bacteria, fungus, and things of that nature. There are groups of people that benefit off that type of metabolism. They benefit off eating foods like that. They get necessary constituents and chemicals out of consuming certain things that allow their bodies to prosper and to move forward. However, for indigenous people, people from the equatorial regions, people that contain a substantial amount of melanin within their epidermis in their skin, that have a certain type of hair, that have a certain type of genome, their body is not designed to consume large quantities of fermented foods, okay? So you're not supposed to eat spoiled and fermented items. When you're dealing with apple cider vinegar, you're dealing with a fermented item. You're dealing with something that has spoiled and rotten. Now, what is the process of making apple cider vinegar in the first place? You have to introduce yeast into the equation. You see, you got to introduce bacteria into the equation because it's the yeast that is the mediator in this chemical reaction to yield the acetic acid out of the alcohol. So we're dealing with alcohol, and we're dealing with acetic acid. And these 2 mechanisms are not anything that belongs inside of a body with a pristine engine. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. You know what I'm saying? But people got to think about the basics. You know, one thing I learned when I started studying some law some years ago from an elder of mine, Elder Amir, Baba Amir, he always taught me to stay on the one. You see what I'm saying? Like, anytime somebody is arguing with you about the 2, like, and you're arguing with them, you already lost the argument. You know what I mean? Stick to the 1 because the 1 is where the truth is. And see, in this aspect, we're talking about acetic acid, which in no shape, form, or fashion in a consistent administering inside of the body will yield a positive result. It's just not. It's going to deteriorate your system as all acids do. Now, then the question might come, okay, so what about all of the positive effects that are on record in regards? Well, a lot of them are...
Before you say that, hold up, KT. I'm glad you said that.
Go ahead.
Oh, man, I just lost the page. Hold on. Give me 1 second, family. Because this is testimony. One thing you can't negate is testimony.
Right.
So I want to read you some testimony from some folks. This was on, I got to give the people a shout out. This was on a Facebook page, Keeping Dr. Sebi's Healing and Legacy Alive. And they basically said what you said about not drinking apple cider vinegar. And I just want to read a couple of the posts to let you know so we can get a better understanding of this. One person said, this is not true. I am currently overweight and had pre-cervical cancer cells when I started drinking 4 ounces of water and 2 tea tablespoons of apple cider vinegar once a day and green tea instead of pop. I have lost 25 pounds in 3 months and my abnormalities are gone. Another person said, I can't agree with this one because it has been helping me regulate my blood sugars, lose weight, improve my immune system as the diabetes normally makes it extremely weak. I have hypothyroidism already and need to reverse it, and it has been working. For tips on how I use and lose apple cider vinegar, visit. Yeah, they just said. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there. Those are two.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about all three. So one of them was, you said, the hypothyroidism, right? Okay. The other one was the diabetes thing, right?
One was overweight with pre-cervical cancer cells, and when she started drinking
overweight.
The abnormalities are gone, and she lost 25 pounds in 3 months. That sounds pretty good to me, KT.
Well, listen, let's talk about the diabetes aspect right here. Okay, so the reason why diabetes people feel that they benefit from this thing is because acetic acid does something very interesting to hydrochloric acid in your stomach. What it does is it prevents the breaking down of complex carbohydrates so that you have a slow leaking of sugars into the bloodstream. Now, if there's low amounts of carbohydrates in the bloodstream, right, then what ends up happening, and then that's less sugar that you have to let into the cell. That's less sugar to process. And, of course, low glycemic index is the key, right, for obviously benefiting when you have a diabetes situation. But let's go back to what I just said. I said that it prevents the breaking down of carbohydrates, meaning, okay, I got this big cluster of carbohydrates that just entered into my stomach in the form of starch or sugar or whatever it is. My stomach is designed to break it down into its smallest constituent parts so that when it enters into the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine, it can then properly be absorbed into the walls. But what happens when it's not broken all the way down? Well, then now it's going to pass through my colon and it's not going to be of any use. What it's going to do is going to take more energy for my body to drive this hunk of junk throughout my system and out my system and not even be able to use the inherent energy that might be in it at all. So as I was speaking earlier when we talked briefly, I was like, see, we have a lot of situations in life that offers us a quick fix, okay? I know that my food was in the fridge and I'm hungry. I want to heat it up real quick, so let me throw it in the mic. So, yes, I'm able to fix that situation real quick with I only had to spend about 1 minute and 30 seconds to heat this food up and I can eat it real quick and I'm good, but I don't understand the harmful effects of microwaves over time, and that ends up hurting me later. So you'll find certain positive attributes that occur in regards to the acetic acid in a brief stint of time. But through the consistent usage of it, you start seeing how detrimental it's been from the beginning. The reason why the hyperthyroidism situation comes into effect is because of the fact that the acidity of the blood ends up inducing your parathyroid parathyroids, which sits behind the thyroid to secrete parathyroid hormone. What this does is it initiates a particular cell inside of your bone called osteoclast to start to dissolve your bones. In order to release the dissolved bone in the form of calcium ions in your blood to increase alkalinity. When the alkalinity gets too much, then your thyroid gland then secretes calcitonin to try and drop that level down. If the acidity stays consistent, you have this vicious cycle with your thyroid gland now getting overworked and overstimulated because of this acidity. So these effects, these testimonials that these people are experiencing are actually temporary testimonials, but they're really not testimonials of longevity, things that are going to stay that way. They're just feeling some brief effects before, the rug gets pulled from underneath them. So that's the hyperthyroidism and that's the diabetes. So like I said, inside of the stomach, when it comes to you digesting your food, it halts the digestion. When it comes to your bloodstream, it increases acidity. Increasing acidity also decreases calcium concentration in your bone, thus creating porous bone.
Wow, that was a very, very good analogy you just used, KT, and I'm glad you broke it down like that. Because, this is just so important, because when a person becomes what they call aware or woke or conscious, this is the first thing they're seeing online. And this is the first thing that's popping up on Google. This is the first thing they're seeing in their timeline. So everybody just automatically assumes if 1 million people who say they're woke say apple cider vinegar is good for me, then these 1 million woke people can't be wrong. So it's just very important to have these type of conversations, KT. And I'm glad you broke that down. And I'm sure
there's a million people that take Tylenol. There's a million people that take aspirin.
No, but woke people. I'm saying 1 million woke people who are saying apples. So
I get you.
Yeah, so it's a different dynamic that makes it more believable to a lot of people. So,
That's it.
Yeah, so another thing I want to ask you about, KT. When, like I said, when you become aware of certain things out here and get knowledge yourself, one trend you see going on that everybody's doing, you go to Whole Foods or wherever, juice bars all across the country, everybody's asking for a wheatgrass shot, KT. Everybody's spending $7 for a wheatgrass shot. And to me, how I looked at it when I took wheatgrass shots is I look at it like, okay, listen to this, KT. So the vegans tell us don't eat the cow, right? Because the cow's not good for us. So the logic of the meat eater is that I'm eating the cow because the cow eats the grass, and I'm getting the benefits from the grass from the cow or whatever like that. So what I'm assuming is that I could cut the cow off the picture, KT, and I could go straight to the grass. I could get a shot of the grass, and you know what that's going to do, KT? It's green. All y'all talk about green. All y'all talk about chlorophyll. So there's no way in hell wheatgrass is not good for me. And then you have a man called Dr. Sebi, once again, defying the rest of the health community. Saying wheatgrass ain't good for us. That's something, and it's something I heard way back in the day, and I just brushed it off, but then it keeps coming up. So I'm like, I got to talk to somebody about this. KT, how in the heck could wheatgrass, green chlorophyll, not be good for us, KT?
Dr. Sebi is the Tupac of the health industry. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, man. Yo, so before I jump into that, let me close this apple cider vinegar one point that I left out in regards to the 3 examples you gave. So what essentially is causing these brief stints, right, of people benefiting is the fact that it's apple cider vinegar, and in the beginning we started with an apple. What is the property of the apple that is staying retained in these processes that people are benefiting from slightly is the malic acid. Okay, that's the tartness of the apple that you taste, that you like. It'd be sweet and it'd be tart at the same time. The part about malic acid when oxygen is combined is you yield something called malate. Okay, malate. And malate essentially is one of the steps in the citric acid cycle, which is the cycle that occurs in your mitochondria to yield energy. Okay, yield energy. It is called the citric acid cycle or cellular respiration, and you yield energy through this particular cycle. Well, one of the steps is malate in there. So through the consumption of this apple cider vinegar, you're sacrificing of oxygen from your own system, along with that malic acid, can induce what you would call redox which is what you're really supposed to do in order to keep your health on point, is the redox potential, your redox reactions, okay? So these people that experience these short little stints of health is really their inner intelligence doing it by way of the citric acid cycle of this malate. But it's short-living because of the coupling with the acetic acid and the properties of the yeast, the fungus, and the bacteria that's also in the maloom or the mixture that they're taking. All right, so let me get that out the way. All right, so wheat. All right, so this is the thing that we have to understand, okay? Sebi's main thing was, listen, y'all, I'm not trying to stop y'all from eating everything. I'm just telling you to stop eating ass, okay? Y'all eating boo-boo, y'all eating fake plastic. Y'all need to know what's real and what isn't real. Now, when we come up, we hear about Santa Claus, and when we get the spill on Santa, yo, we ain't with that. We like, what do you mean? There's not some fat white guy coming down my chimney. Like, no, you sat me on his lap. What about the picture in the photo album? You know, you don't want to believe it. You like Neo in the Matrix. You like, stop, wake me up. You throw up in the corner, you know, because you just can't take it. But it's for your own good. So what we're talking about here is we're talking about grain. And the funny thing about wheat, okay, now what wheat are we talking about? You know what I mean? That's like me saying human. It's like there's all types of humans, right? There's all types of people on this planet. I might say cat. There's lions. There's jaguars. There's tigers. You know, there's bobcats, lynx, and ocelots. Like, what cat are you talking about? What wheat are we talking about? We're talking about Triticum aestivum, okay? Triticum aestivum, which is the common wheat plant, which is a hybrid. It is a man-made hybrid GMO manipulative that has occurred over the course of hundreds of years that everybody assumes is the original wheat, and it is not, okay? The wheat that we're supposed to be eating is Triticum spelta and Triticum turgidum or turgidum, which is also known as spelt and kamut. Okay, spelt and kamut. If you go to the store and you buy spelt, it will say wheat in parentheses. It's classified as wheat because it's the original wheat. But the common wheat, okay, the Triticum aestivum, is the hybrid, okay? And the wheatgrass that everybody's out here selling is the germinated grass sprout of this particular wheat. Okay, so if we already know that a beer belly is a wheat belly, if we already know there's all these wheat allergies, if we already know wheat is not the way to go, then what the hell do you think the most potent part of the sprout is going to do to you if the refined part tears you all the way to shreds as well? You see what I'm saying? So when you deal with this concentrated, potent form of wheat grass, you're dealing with a grass. So people be like, okay, but y'all talk about chlorophyll and greens all the time. Well, yeah, we say specifically green leafy vegetables. Why do we say green leafy vegetables? So you do not confuse a leaf with a grass. That's our problem. We 50 years old and don't know the difference. Okay? Now, a cow grazes in a pasture eating grass all day with no issue. The reason why is because this cow is classified as a ruminant, and a ruminant has 4 stomachs. It is able to consume the grass, digest it, vomit the grass, chew the grass, digest it, vomit the grass, chew the grass, digest it, vomit the grass, and do it all over again. Now, unless you want to sit at your plate across from your woman when y'all out at dinner and constantly the two of y'all just regurgitate 4 times before you finally swallow it to get the properties out, I don't think that the net worth of that food that you're eating is going to be consistent with the expenditure that you put forth into processing it. Okay? Grass is not in a state that our body is able to assimilate the power that is inside. It is specifically needs a ruminant structure like a cow in order to do it. That's why bamboo is also a grass. But we eat bamboo young bamboo shoots that are sliced up and broken down. You do not see us out in the woods eating bamboo like panda. You see what I'm saying? We don't have the capabilities to break down grass. Now, that's just talking of just the grass. Now, let's talk about the fact we're speaking of wheat, which is a hybrid, okay? Which means the potent starch and the potent toxicities, chemicals, and all the man-made impurities that are inherent inside this GMO seed is now in its most potent form in this grass that we're drinking as juice, okay? And when it goes inside of our digestive system, we are not able to get anything out. It tears our digestive system up. We get constipated. We get headaches. We get allergies. You know, we get all types of other properties that ends up taking place. Matter of fact, if you have a dog who is not a ruminant, he only got one stomach, he chews grass to vomit. If the dog eats something poisonous, he will eat grass to throw the thing up so it doesn't get any further sickness. So what does that mean to you? You know? Now, get some wheatgrass, add a little water, let that bad boy stay out on the counter for a little bit. It's going to start to mold immediately, just like spirulina. You know what I mean? So all the health properties that they attribute to wheatgrass are null and void, especially to indigenous people, because that's not what we ate. We did not eat wheat. So does that mean get some spelt berries and sprout those and juice those and you should be fine? I'm like, don't even go there. There's more than enough green leafy vegetables out there that you can juice and that you could partake in on a daily basis that's easily accessible, that will provide you with high quantities of chlorophyll, you know, that you can use for your system for energy.
KT, man, listen, man, you a sharp brother. Let me just say that. You a sharp brother, but you make it hard on us, brother. You got that Dr. Sebi energy, brother. You make it hard on us, because I'm going to tell you what I do, man. I think I sometimes, you know, I'm not a vegan. I don't eat a lot of meat. I might eat red meat twice a month, and I try to be fancy with it. And I try to be high class, so this is what I tell myself. You know, I in my mind, that's what I tell myself,
Okay.
KK. I say to myself, I go to Whole Foods, right? I think I'm fancy and shit. You know, I got my debit card, and I say, you know what? Let me get some of that grass-fed ground beef. That grass-fed ground beef. So I think because I'm eating grass-fed ground beef, that I'm safe, and it makes me feel good, KT. But then when I talk to you, you don't make me feel too good, KT. So you know, and I need that reminder, because I think I'm cool when I eat grass-fed ground beef once a month or whenever I eat it. You know what I'm saying? So
I guess that's better than eating the cows that are eating each other. A lot of people don't even know 1/4 pounder from your favorite fast food spot, right? Takes 6.7 pounds of grain, 52 gallons of water, 74 square feet of land, and 1,036 British thermal units, BTUs, in order for that one little 1/4 pounder to be yielded. What is the amount of energy that it takes to make 10 to 12 heads of cabbage? You know what I'm saying? Or collards, you know, or kale, or any fruit. Like, have you ever seen a mango tree? If you go down to St. Croix, they're huge. And when they're really in season, you can have 1,000 mangoes on one tree with 1,000 seeds. I mean, 1,000 people can eat at one time off just a tree that's occupying what type of space? You know what I'm saying? So it just we get into the thought frame of sustainability. You know, this hybriding thing goes back, man. Like, you know, he always talked about corn and said, you know, corn is a hybrid, and people like, you know, where does it come from? Well, if you look at the sorghum grain, and you combine sorghum with something called teosinte, Teosinte, Teosinte. Teosinte and sorghum yields what we know today as maize or corn. That's the combination, because what they wanted to do is to increase the seed size of these teosinte. You know, the sorghum has the same type of leaf structure as the corn, and it stands straight up and kind of has that cob, you know, that structure, but the teosinte has the kernel. So when you combine those two together, you ended up yielding the corn. But see, in the mixing and the hybridizing of these particular ancient grains, you gotta snip something here, you gotta cut something there, you gotta figure out what you're gonna use as glue to stick all the stuff together. And the particular mechanisms that are used in order to create these man-made hybrids do damage, you see what I'm saying, on original systems. How is the damage done? Well, because we have a genome, what it does is it turns on certain genomes and turns off certain genomes, because when it goes in the body, it's like a certain protocol gets ignited. You know, so it's like, okay, we're going to operate under this protocol, you know, today. And under this protocol, everything's good. But you know, if there's a hurricane or there's a tornado, oh, that's a natural disaster. We're not following the same protocol, you know, as a society. If a tornado hit, after the tornado hit, you're going to have FEMA over here, you're going to have Homeland, you're going to have all these other entities that now initially officially come into power that can take control, because we're not under normal circumstances. We're under natural disaster. And under a natural disaster, shoot, we could throw the Constitution out the damn window, because it's all about survival. So if you put a tornado or a hurricane in your body, then you have to go underneath the protocol, statutes, you see what I'm saying, statutes and policies of the system underneath the guise of the garbage you just ate. You got to be under FEMA. You got to be under Homeland Security. You got to be under those people now. And when you're under those people, it's a whole different flow. And then because you're so used to being under Homeland Security, I might be saying their name too much on the phone right now, FEMA and all of that, if you're under them too long, you get used to that being the way, and you think that's how your body is supposed to operate. So we got sick, slow, death-defying, half-dead, zombified people that think that existence and experience that they're living is life. And I'm here to tell you, no, bruh, just turn on AMC and, Walking Dead will let you know what's really popular. Okay? You're a zombie. You're a zombie thinking that you're alive. So by shutting all this stuff down, it's not taking anything from anybody, but it's actually returning the golden, beautiful, loving, light, soul spirit that people need. Because once you recognize the true power of produce and plant-based and everything, you find out the abundance that you have access to. And you get that natural high, and you feel like you're 15 years old when you're 60. You know what I'm saying? So you start living a whole different type of life and a whole different type of existence. So as you go forward in life in anything that you do, you see what I'm saying? You always start finding out that you can do things better. So, you used to do this, and as you learn more, you learn you can't do that no more. That occurs in every aspect of life, because when you get to that point of discipline and maturity, that's you telling the universe that you're ready for that next step. You see? So then the information comes. Now it's up to you to not apply that new information, or you could just stay where you at, but depending upon the type of person you want, spirit you got, you're probably not going to, do that. You're probably going to want to go and take it further. So that's what this information is for. It's not to prove who right and who wrong. It's to provide the best possible pathways for my people metabolically so they can get out of the rut that they're in. How do I benefit from that? How do I benefit? I benefit from it because we're connected, damn it. We're together. We're brothers, we're sisters. And I would not be right if I knew the information and I bit my tongue or I sat on it. So I make sure I put it out, and it's up to y'all to use it.
Well, KT, well, on that note, KT, close out by letting them know what they could expect at your lecture, The Vegan Gene, and leave your contact information as well for the people, brother.
That's right. October 20th, the doors opening at 7 p.m. in Dallas, Texas. 4466 Marcellus Avenue. To be more specifically, contact number 214-943-8262. I, KT the Arts Degree, will be presenting the Vegan Gene, which is a situation where I have genetic evidence. Sebi always talks food gene consistency. So I'm going to be coming from a genetic perspective to prove our ancestors were on a vegan diet and currently why Africa is in the state it's in. I'm going to give people not only the genetic and scientific and quantum information on this powerful body technology that we got called the human body, but I'm also going to provide the answers through the transitional foods that I prepare. I cook. People know. They follow me on Instagram. They follow me on Facebook. They've been to my events. They've tasted my food. They know how I get down. So I'm going to have my food there so people can see that it's taste and texture that people are truly accustomed to, and the addictions can be dropped once they can get their taste and texture from a plant-based diet. So I'm going to show them by having people taste and enjoy my food. So other than me dropping the high science and the information, I'm going to also be providing food there. So if anybody's interested in coming through to check this out, like I said, October 20th, Friday, 7 p.m., Dallas, Texas, at the Pan-African Connection Bookstore and Resource Center, 4466 Marcellus Avenue, phone number 214-943-8262. Any further inquiry for the event, you can email me at lovegreenlife@gmail.com. That's LUVGREENLIFE@gmail.com. That's LUVGREENLIFE@gmail.com. You can also give me inquiries if you're interested in getting any consultations or anything, because I do that for the people that need help and need assistance, so I can answer questions and provide, some of my products that I offer, some of my compounds, to assist you. I know Brother Rich done had the C3, my CMOS product, and I know that I was able to help him, a great deal. And, I got a lot of people, that try my stuff. So KT the Arts Degree on Instagram as well as on YouTube. I got a nice library on Black Magic, so you can definitely find me there as well. And if you can't make it down to Dallas, like I said, I will be present at Valentine's lecture that he's doing with King Simon at St. Francis College the weekend of November 5th. It will be on the 5th. I'll be up there that weekend, so, NY will be able to see me. I'll be in the building.
Indeed, man. KT, once again, man, this is a gem to our community. This is a gem to humanity as a whole. And it's such a help. I mean, people, I really want everybody listening who if you stayed to the 54-minute mark, 55-minute mark, it must mean you're really interested in this information. And the brother KT is coming from his heart. You've been listening for 55 minutes. Holla at your brother, man. Holla at your brother. Everybody needs health consultations, man. Cut it out. If you stay here for 55 minutes and you get to hear this message from Brother Rich, holla at KT, because that means you need some help advice. Health is wealth. You can't do anything before your health is good. I mean, you can't make money, you can't please your woman or your man. If you whatever you're doing, you can't do nothing if your health ain't right. So please, people, holla at KT. I'll make sure I holla at KT once a month, get my health advice, and the brother helps me out all the time. On that note, brother, family, we signing out. The brother KT, the Arts Degree. Go to his website. I'm going to leave the information in the description bar. This is Brother Rich, Underground Railroad. We signing out, family. We going to see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Rich. I came from the Nile Valley. It's bittersweet, I smile sadly. Truth rarely seen like child's daddies. I'm in Hotep, I style flashy. Regarded highly, I'm Selassie. As time is passing, tribes are clashing. I know the ledge, I grow my dreads. My queen's two open legs have golden eggs, I'm hatched. 9 months had to hold my breath. Now I dream so heavy that I broke the bed. Provoke the feds that slaughter the sons. 12 get the 4-5 like a quarter to 1. The war has begun. Latin for sun, the soul and Melanites get more of the sun. We the fortunate one. Got the God in the womb and the Lord in my come, and no more means love. Death is the source that I'm from. Everything that they do, we have already done. Self-taught, my ice a melt salt. Mine high price, I write and sell thought. I felt cloth, Akhenaten, cotton shopping, aquaponic, chronic options. Botanizing pot concoction. Earth a thought, her twat is rotten. Knowledge of my art forgotten. Watch the conscious sovereign doctrine. Not dishonest prophet goblins. Boxing out the box, I'm boxed in. Black magic, black yoni, black phallus. How they turn kings and queens to crack addicts. How they make us lose our sight like bad glasses. They know we invented original mathematics. Black magic, treat home like cat Sabbath. I can hear beautiful music and bad static. I attract cash in bags like that's Magnus. Last maverick, blast fast like Zab Jab. Black magic, black yoni, black